Hello everyone, welcome for this new community show. Thank you so very much for joining us. Today we will be speaking about a very interesting subject, which is the roadmap. How exciting is that? We also have a few patch notes and a few community news to discuss. Today my co-host is Sparoh. Hello, Sparoh. Welcome to the show. Thank you so very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Excited to talk about the roadmap for 2024. Lots of great stuff.
Yes, and I'm very excited to talk with you as well. You are our first female guest, our first lady guest. It's a good reason to celebrate. That's nice. You see, guys, there's female playing, or ladies playing Embers Adrift. We exist, yeah, exactly. That being said, in Embers Adrift, we are a little bit rarer than in Final Fantasy XIV. Dear Sparoh, so. Can you introduce yourself to the people that are not knowing you, maybe, and how you discovered the game, etc.?
Yeah, hi, I'm Sparoh, and I've been playing MMOs pretty much since 2002, 2003. I started with EverQuest and just fell in love with the genre. I've been playing ever since then, all kinds of MMOs. I stream a little bit, I make some content, but my favorite part is hanging out with my friends at Static Group Live. We play all kinds of games there, mostly games that we can play together. Co-ops and RPGs and MMOs, of course. And I think we're up to 6 days a week streaming now. So there's always something going on. You want to catch us over there.
Yeah, it's really a nice channel with a lot of very lovely people and a very, very nice community. And you're playing all the cool games, right? So all the MMORPG, so. Yeah, no, it's really nice. So if you enjoy MMORPG, it is definitively a channel you will enjoy to follow. I will, of course, put all the information below, all the people and all the related subject in the information box, so check that out. Speaking of which, I do have a little clip that show the content you have been providing for Embers Adrift. You have been creating video guides on YouTube, videos that are really useful and that could help out new players. And then you have your stream, of course, but as you are focusing more on Static Group, well, you will see. Let's see your clip.
Embers Adrift has launched their brand new alchemy system. It's their unique take on magic in their sci-fi fantasy MMORPG. I'll walk you through the ins and outs of this innovative new system and get you using your new abilities in no time. So, let's go! The first thing you'll need to do is to have completed the quest Raw Potential to get your Ember Stone, which is available at level 10. I'll link my video for that quest walkthrough in case you haven't completed it yet. The next step you'll need is to have reached level 20 in order to pick up the quest The Magic of Ember.
Okay.
Cottage core.
Gosh, Stans,
one of these are going to be solo, and then we don't want the solo one, obviously.
Wait, is that in?
What? Yes, I believe so.
The solo.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, I thought that was like a coming soon.
No, there's some of them have them.
Some of them
not
do.
all the dungeons have them, but they want to add one. They want every dungeon.
Was there anything about upping the bat gear drop rate?
No, there was not. Well, I'll let Elloa know maybe.
So we came in right here, but there's many directions we can go.
Right. I'm trying to figure out which one is the group tunnel.
No, this has 2 and 3 ups, so
that's it then. Yeah.
So, Sparoh, in this clip, we are seeing you playing with a warden, and as your lovely logo suggests, you like ranged class, right?
Yes.
So,
I typically play like nature type classes depending on the play style of the game. So druids, rangers, and maybe a pet class.
oh, nice. So that's why you were speaking about the pet wolves earlier in the chat.
Yes.
So would that be one of your wishes to see a pet class in Embers?
Definitely. I mean, Drax's going to be mad at me for not saying magic class, but I love my pet class.
So yeah, right. But the first character you have been playing was a duelist. So
That's still my main, yeah.
yeah, it's still your main. So you're still playing the duelist, the time to time at the moment.
Yep, I'm usually playing about once a week now with Nathan Napalm on Fridays.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're doing two shows at the moment, so where people can follow you. There's one with the Nathan Napalm and one with Static Group Live. Am I correct?
Yep, I'm actually on 2 different streams with Static Group Live. I'm with the 201 on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then again on Sundays at noon Eastern, playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, nice. And what are you playing in Baldur's Gate 3?
A druid.
Oh, nice.
My favorite.
Completely out of subject discussion,
Right.
but it's nice.
Completely different.
So yes, you have recently, with Static Group Live, you have restarted new character and everything, right?
Yeah, we wanted to try a fresh take because we played it before when it first came out in October, a year ago in October. And that's when I started my duelist and we played our classes, we graded the game. And for this time around, we wanted to see the different changes that it's been through, but we also wanted to try different classes than what we'd been in before. So I went with the Warden, my nice ranged class, and we have a whole group and we all started fresh.
That's nice. And so which one of those two classes do you think you have your preference?
I don't know if I have enough time in the Warden. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks now where I've played the Duelist so long, but I usually like a DPS class more than healing. There's a lot less pressure
Yeah,
to keep everyone alive.
I can understand that. And
Yeah.
I am personally more of a healer type, and I find that in Embers Adrift, I find it's more stressful than in other game because
yeah.
you really have to manage your resource a lot. You have to position yourself in. It's always important in every game as a healer, but in Embers Adrift, I find it's a little bit more difficult. And I don't know, what make it easier in other games is that usually you stand behind and you are focusing on your interface and you are handling everything from there. In Embers Adrift, and it's done intentionally. It was an intention. You can't do that. You have to be in the action. So making healing a little bit more intensive and active, which will please some people and will please less the healer type that prefer to be chilling and focusing on the interface.
Oh yeah, and you have to be aware of each of your spells, where it's going to, not spells, abilities, and where they're going to land, because some are cone, some are all around. Those are the really useful ones, the AoE heals, but most of them you have to know where your people are and position them within the range of your heal. It is tricky.
Yeah, that's very true. And especially as the people are on the move and they move out of your heal, or someone is running away from the mob and you run away behind them. Please, I want to heal you. Stop. So
Or they run past you. I'm always like, don't run past me if you want to heal, because it stops casting.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite, making healer quite intense if you like intensity. Healing is a good thing. Chilling, well, maybe the Warden would be ideal then.
Yeah.
Or the Brigand.
I just get yelled at for being too far back with my Warden. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we're going to start to discuss about the patch note because we do actually have some patch notes. So exciting time. And after that, we will be, of course, taking the main course, which will be our roadmap. But first, So February 6th, this is a hot fix that you will probably get after the maintenance. Merchant buyback extended to 1 hour from 30 minutes. So a little word about that. We had the forum post that I've been reading last week with someone that's horribly lost his freshly acquired very precious item, the Stark sword in Undercroft, because he sell it by mistake and could not retrieve it because the cooldown has already been over. So the merchant buyback has been extended to 1 hour. That still doesn't solve the fact that you need to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you discover the next day that you have done a mistake and sell the wrong thing, it will be gone anyway, and we cannot restore item. We do not have the capability, the tech capacity of doing it. So pay attention to what you sell, but now you have a little bit of more time to realize your mistake and rush to the store and just get your item back. Dialogue updated for Johann Gustav and related quest. Fixed some border collider in Northreach. Fixed an issue with the normal map on some plate gear. Added a personal stash to Grimstone Canyon. I think that people will be happy about that one. Removed percentage sign from plus hit on abilities. Fixed a coloration issue on Shitting Fault armor. Fixed a coloration issue on eye patch of the mountain. I would like to mention that the person that have been requesting this bug, or that have been giving this feedback, has been extremely nice, kind and polite. That's what we enjoy to have as feedback. Someone very nice and kind. Then,
helpful and polite.
yeah, exactly. And then I don't know. It gives us more the desire of putting the change into the game. Then because it's someone nice, so it's nicer. Doesn't mean that every nice person will obtain whatever they are asking for, even if you ask very, very politely. So, but it's still more pleasant, and it's nice for us that are reading the report to see someone very considerate making their feedback. It's always pleasant. So thanks to this person for their kind feedback. Here it is. Your eye patch of the mountain has been recolored. We hope you are happy with it. Fixed suck spot in Grimstone, Grizzled, and Highland Hills and Forgotten Depths. Fixed a typo in the Guts Alchemy 2 description. Fixed LOG issue on crossbow bolts. Fixed some minor skinning issue on mail shirts. Fixed a spot in Northreach where worms could get but player could not. There you go, they're not going to tease you anymore.
Especially up the mountainsides. That's where they'd always get a little further than you could go.
Yes. Last week we were asking, would you like catch the worm type of task, or would you hate it?
Ooh, a task?
Yes.
Probably not for me. Might be for other people, but probably not as a task. Maybe as like an achievement or something later on. When you catch so many or different types or something like that would be cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. You could add them into the hunting log or something. That would be fun. To have a section for the flatworms hunt log. Bulletin board update. So thanks everyone for your patience related to bulletin board. We have been testing every single task. Several of us through the whole months, but it's true that some things can be missed or something cannot work well on live servers. So continue to give your feedback if you have some issue with the task. If something seems impossible or unbalanced, do not hesitate to give your report. In some case, it is that Like, for example, you find a task and you find that the mobs are red and you cannot fight them. That should not happen. So either you have not been looking at the right place, because there is other place in the area that has this type of mob, but it might be that the text of the task is kind of vague and could be corrected, or it can be a mistake on our part. It should not, because we have tested everything thoroughly, but we never know. So do not hesitate to give your feedback, whatever that feedback may be, so we can adjust the task if they're not well balanced. So here are the changes we have already done.
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to do a couple, and they worked great. The only thing that I noticed, and maybe a criticism or some feedback, was a couple of us weren't sure if we had gotten the task. So you click on it on the bulletin board and you don't really see where it goes. And it just took a minute to kind of figure out to check the log, check your quests, and see that it's in there. So it wasn't very intuitive maybe if you had it, but the quests worked great. We got good XP and they were a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's probably true. It's true that for the new player, they will be getting those tasks New Haven Valley, and will learn very early during their journey about it. And maybe they will even have this little tutorial pop out coming. I don't know if that has been done yet. But for older players that, you know, to take those tasks just now, maybe it's more confused. I don't know. Thank you for the feedback. That's it's a good point. So remove regional information from kill task objectives for clarity. The region is still specified in the task description. Adjusted kill task count requirement for some dry food and red shore task. In other words, the kill count has been reduced. Increased spawn density of wild areas in dry food. Increased spawn density of stalkers in red shore. Red shore forest friendly flex description updated to specify the rigid mire come from an ember drift. So that has been something confusing, because there is no mire in red shore forest except in flooded rain, and therefore at the ember drifts. Grizzle Peak, to make a pillow objective change from kill raven to kill birds and number reduced to 5. Added bulletin board icons to overland maps. Those are not unique discoveries and are tied to the nearest ember ring. Make sure rigid mire are spawning properly in red shore. Increase spawn chances for exile looters, scavenger, hunters, woodsmen and patrols, hungry wolves and snatch scale stalkers. Add emberfly for red shore kill task. Adjust nocturne level outside of Forgotten Depth. We're currently investigating issue with the social server regarding players showing incorrectly offline online. For a sanity check, we are rolling back the recent changes we made that included the LFG status in the /woo result. Because of this, we need to know if the problem persists, so please keep an eye on those friends and guild list and let us know via /report. LFG will be added back to the woo result soon. So just a little explanation related to that. We have done a change in the last patch where you will see the little looking for group icon when you were typing the /woo list. And it might be the cause of those issue with the people showing offline when they're not. All right, so we do have a very nice and long post, which is state of the game, big announcement. I am going to read it because there's several information and news that are pretty important. So let's get started. Intro. We are starting off 2024 with a few big steps for Embers Adrift. We've received a lot of feedback during our first year, and some of it has been very consistent. We've reviewed it all again in order to help plan out our 2024 year as we prepped our roadmap, and we are very excited to bring in some of the things our player and others in the genre are consistently requesting. We will start off the newsletter below with our roadmap, and that will lead us right into our big announcement. Then we will talk about our first update of the year and what we have already accomplished. Rest assured, we are committed to avoid any kind of cash up or pay to win in Embers Adrift. Ultimately, our focus will be on maintaining and growing the Embers Adrift community. And that is something pretty important to underline because we're very adamant with that. We don't want microtransaction, we don't want a cash up. What is your opinion about that, Sparoh?
I have known that from the beginning. You guys have been adamant that you want no cash shop, no pay to win models. And even with your subscription perks, you guys worked very hard to make sure there wasn't some kind of super benefit that made the game easier for just you if you were, paying the subscription. You even made it useful to other people around you, whether they were subbed or not. So as always, you're committed to that vision of the game. I love that you guys have been able to stick with it.
Yeah, and this is absolutely our intention. So every change we're making, we're trying to keep that vision in mind. It's very important to us. I know that from a business point of view, it can seem bizarre, but that's because we value this idea or this ideal more than potential success business-wise.
And I love that it opened with that your 2024 roadmap is based on what players have been talking about. That's what you're considering as what the players have needed over the year, and that made your goals for 2024. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, this is really what we want the most, and that's what I've been discussing in the first community show of the year with the Nathan Napalm, is that our biggest concern is the community well-being and the community population, and so that's really what we're working on the most. So if anyone tell the devs don't care, no, it's not true. We always care. We care very, very, very much, and we're really doing our best.
It shows.
If this is the first time you're hearing about Embers Adrift, it is a challenge-driven MMORPG where a player can experience over 1,000 hours of entertainment on a single character, with quests that have multiple outcomes, hundreds of rare mobs, and thousands of rare quest items, and a steady stream of new content coming out on a steady schedule. It's never been easier to find long-term entertainment at a great price. You can support us by buying the game for yourself or for a friend, and maintaining our optional subscription as time goes on. You can also purchase a month of subscription perks for your friends who may not have an active subscription. We also have a merchandise shop for yourself, not your character, and a soundtrack.
Real life merch.
If you would like to support us via other way. As a small company trying to go against the grain by not focusing on maximum monetization of our player base, we want to say a huge thank you to you or to our subscriber. Your support is very much appreciated. And that's the things, as we do not have a cash up, we are trying to offer people that want to support us more than just with one single monthly subscription, because there are some people that would like to support us more. You can always help your friends. So you might have a friend that do not have the money to buy a subscription every month, and if you want to support us, you can do that. You can purchase a monthly sub for your friend. You cannot buy a super outfit in or an existing cash shop, but you can help your friends.
And it's a super reasonable price for a subscription compared to other MMOs that you play and pay monthly for. So,
yeah, thank you. Here is the roadmap. I'm trying to show it in bigger. There we go. So that's quite interesting. It's quite important as well. So you will see that this time we have been separating the roadmap, not in quarter like we did last time, because we wanted to give you our priority list without having hard dates, which are difficult to respect or to honor. So we wanted to give a little bit of more, ability to
Latitude.
move. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So the immediate priority is the community initiative, which started by the big stuff, the free trial. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. We also have a secret stuff, which is quite exciting, but as it's secret, I cannot talk about it today. But you're going to know more about it soon. And this is something quite exciting, quite bold as well, and we will need absolutely your feedback. So be ready when the secret stuff will be revealed. We will need your opinion about the secret stuff. And lastly, GM event improvement. Then we do have the Stolosphere improvement, which we already have started with this patch. Ember Vein solo loop, more to come in future. The bulletin board, which will be expanded as well in future. We have a new encounter tech, a new marketing initiative. So the new encounter tech will be quite interesting, because what we want to do with this is to create something compelling, which will give you a little bit of an end-game feeling, but it will be across every level. So it will not just for the end-game players. It will be for everyone.
I have ideas what that might be.
Nice, nice. You're going to share that.
Oh. Right now?
When we will talk about it in more detail just
All right.
after. Short-term priority, the epic quest. Discover the others, which are quests and lore, true quest, fishing, and then new zone, the Dryfoot Fortress, Forgotten Depth 3, and Grizzle Peak 2. Obviously, new creators and more boss encounters. Obviously, that goes to those new zone, but maybe not only. And then long-term priority, we have the equipment categorization, which is something pretty important, but it's also a very long task to do, which will be to recolor certain item depending on the quality and stuff like that. So it's a very tedious task, but that need to be done. But that's on the longer-term priority due to the size of the task. Enhanced weather tech, which will also be very exciting. More armor and weapons, obviously. Crafting improvement, that's also a big task and a big undertaking. Alchemy tree, same thing. Mail system, and all of those, they are very exciting and they're on the longer term priority because they will take more time to work on. So it's not because we say it's on the long-term priority that we will not be starting to work on it right now, but it will not be ready fast because it's a very long process. And then we have the new zone, Grimstone Tree, and a new zone you do not know about and reveal, so also very exciting. Obviously, all of this is subject to change. Along with the above, we will continue to implement regular content, adjustment, and bug fixes as we have done before. So you can expect to continue to have new quests, to have new Ember Vein, to have all that kind of things. Maybe a piece of equipment and visual and stuff like that, because that's stuff we are doing all the time. But it didn't need to be mentioned on the list. All right, so now let's go and let's read in detail. Do not hesitate to interrupt me, Sparoh, whenever you want to say something. as you can see above, our immediate priorities are focused around the community. We have taken a serious look at the feedback we've received and determined that we need to give players a better solo experience without compromising grouping and give new players a chance to try the game without paying upfront. As an indie studio that listened to our player and worked very hard on our game, we need to work just as hard to earn the trust of other players in the genre. Therefore, we are happy to announce that we will be introducing a free trial for Embers Adrift. This will include all of the content in the entire first zone as well as the first dungeon. This will give new players the chance to experience the questing, bulletin boards and solo experience as well as the grouping experience as they delve into Central Vein Dungeon. We plan to launch the free trial around the end of February. Keep an eye on our socials and Discord, link below for more updates. So that's quite a big announcement. So what do you think about that, Sparoh?
I think it's a super generous free-to-play model. The New Haven Valley is huge. There's tons of quests, there's crafting, there's the dungeon that you were saying, Central Veins. There's tons to do. You're not going to be done that in a day or two. That's going to take you a while. I'd say a week to maybe 2 weeks if you're playing hard. There's tons of stuff in it.
Yeah, that's true. And we really wanted to, we have been thinking for a long time how to do a free trial if we wanted to limit by level or etc. But we thought that it would be easier for tech reason and security reason and all the kind of things. Because when you have a free trial, you need to be ready. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but you need to be ready to have all kind of player, including players that are not well-intentioned, that are not joining the game to play the game. So we have to be cautious about all that kind of things. So there will be no disturbance about the real player that really want to experience the game and try it for real. So we thought that in lore wise it makes sense also to just have the first area, and it gives a nice overview about the whole game. You can do some quests, you can do some solo stuff, but you can also experience the grouping experience firsthand, and it doesn't have to be in the dungeon. It can be the Answer Bear quest, or you can try to hunt Misha, or you can kill some smuggler, or to try to obtain the very famous and elusive teeth blades that's drop very rarely. So there's a little before taste of everything the game has to offer, and hopefully the players that are new and maybe not convinced by Embers Adrift before to try it will be able to really take the time to give it a good chance. And
I was curious if there was any kind of level cap with it, or it's just until the zone grays out and you're not getting XP anymore. And will players have access to a bank? Because I thought the first bank is in the main city, right?
yeah, so when we created the newsletter, we were excluding the city. But this is something we're considering. We do have some criteria to be able to do it, but we're thinking about also including the city. So access to the city, not beyond the wall, but we need to have some tech done before we can do that. So it's not 100% sure, and it has not been announced at that time. So we will see if we are including the city or not. That's not a promise, but it's something we're considering, because it will give the player the opportunity of choosing their class, to have a little bit of lore, and to have access to the bank, like you say, and to explore the city. The city is really cool, so it's also nice to show it off.
Yeah. And do you think people will get to what, maybe around level 10?
Yeah, you probably...
in the first zone?
Yeah, in the first zone you can reach level 10 very easily if you do everything. If you clear up things consciously, if you do the dungeon several times, for example, because you could do that. You could be a new player, really want to be sure that you enjoy the game, and do Central Vein two time or 3 time, and then you can easily be level 10, maybe level 12, I don't know, when the mobs are graying out. But yeah, there is no limit in terms of level. It's really geographical limits.
And that's a ton of content for free.
Yeah, exactly. And so we hope that the people will have the time, because I think that's also one of the characteristic of Embers Adrift. It's a game where you need some times to get into it. So if you are trying a free weekend, for example, like we were doing before, but you just have like 2 hours the Saturday night, and you're starting it, but you're not convinced, and you say, well, not now, I want to play my other game. And you drop it, and after you don't have the time to go back to it, then you have failed to convince someone to play the game. But if you have a free trial and that person can play the game when they want, it can take 1 week, it can take 2 months, it can take 6 months or a year. It doesn't matter, because that person will be able to come back to it and see it for themselves, and maybe take the time to dive in. And maybe their first impression was bad, but they are thinking, okay, I'm going to give it a longer go. And then suddenly they meet a group and they have fun and they do fun stuff, and they got convinced. I think Embers Adrift is really this type of game that can take some times to seduce someone, because it's not a fast-paced things that give you plenty of shiny stuff all the time. So you really need to have the time to dive into it and to let the game kind of slowly work on you. And that's not something people are used to anymore. So hopefully that trial that lasts as long as you want can give more time and more space for people to really try it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's continue. Our bulletin board system was just launched on January 30, so we are already able to check that one off the roadmap list, as well as several of the Ember Vein solo loop. The goal is to have every Ember Vein in the game include a soloable section with its own special mobs and unique loot. Players are already fawning over a pair of gloves that drop in one of the earlier Ember Vein solo loop, which is very good. Plus 17 hits, come on. You don't say no to that. We plan to add more features as a bulletin board to include gathering, crafting, exploration, and lore tasks as we go forward. Those bulletin boards offer tasks that are completely soloable, and they offer experience as a reward, as well as an Eldritch buff to help with further soloing and grouping. This is juxtaposed to our quests, which usually have at least one objective that require grouping and offers valuable items as reward as opposed to experience. Those tasks are not dailies. Players can do as many as they like, and they give players even more valuable objectives to complete while they group forms of if they don't have time for a longer group session but still want to log in and play. So related to that, the idea with the solo task, the bulletin board, was really to offer players some activity to do if they want to solo, or if they don't, they are waiting for their group to form. So the goal is really much to not replace the group content, because we want to encourage players to socialize, to create bond, to create friendship, but we still wanted to give something to do while you didn't find a group, or if you were not in the mood that day, or 10 minutes before maintenance, best time to do some tasks. Those tasks are still meant to offer a quite of adventure for you to execute alone. So it's not meant to be something super fast or super easy to complete. It's not meant to be a farmable way of grinding your experience and your level. It is to offer you an adventure that you can do solo, as opposed to an adventure you're sharing with other players. Meaning that some tasks can take a little while to complete. Some tasks will require, in the one we're thinking about for future, which are not in the game yet, which are more about the exploration or the lore aspect, they might be, you might have to make your brain function and to think about it, like, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? There might be some little puzzle involved and stuff like that. It is not meant, and that's very important, it's to be like super fast-paced type of stuff. That's not what we want. We want it to be a solo adventure for yourself.
Yeah, we lovingly call them our not dailies. So we said, "Did you pick up your not dailies?"
That's nice.
But I was curious for the gathering and the crafting. When they give you experience, are they giving you those spheres of experience, or is it all your level?
No, that will be for
So will I get gathering experience when I hand it in, or will I get level experience?
gathering and for crafting specifically. Which is why they are not in the game yet, because it's a little bit more challenging technically to set up immediately, because we have to do several things around that and some adjustment. So yeah, gathering and crafting will count for gathering and crafting, meaning if you are not a gatherer on that character, for example, you will not have to take any gathering task because you will not be able to complete them and they will not serve you. As for the adventuring task, there is more to come. For now, we only have the kill quest, or the kill task, but we also want some exploration ones. So let's imagine you need to swim through the lake in Middleland. That could be a task to do. We want also some lore quest. Maybe you need to greet different NPCs in the zone. It could be also, I don't know, a little silly task, like you have to dance at the top of the mountain somewhere, you know, things like that. So we want to have different way of offering our player an adventure. So right now it's a little bit simple and basic because it's just a kill task, but there will be more to it.
Nice. I like that there's going to be an alternative way to level up my crafting other than just making tea over and over and over. There might be, I don't know, more interesting way of getting that skill up.
Yeah, and we had some really exciting discussion about what could be the crafting and the gathering task, but we have not make any decision yet, etc. But it could be very nice. Next, we have a secret plan. That's what I told about, the secret stuff. We will be testing soon on the QA server, and it has so many benefits that it's almost too good to not implement. It will serve to really strengthen the community, and as long as testing and feedback go well, we will be very excited to port it over to live. The new Encounter tech will take what some consider in-game content and allow us to offer this type of content to all level range through the game. So here we have two information. The first information is this secret stuff. So right now I cannot talk about it, but when it will be announced and when we will be ready to talk about it, you will have to test it on the QA server. Your feedback will be important, and your constructive feedback, because it's quite of a, you know, interesting and bold things, like I was saying earlier. Now for the second information, the new Encounter tech. So that's something we want to have across every level. So we are working right now. I know that a lot of level 50s has been asking if we were planning to offer them more content. And right now, what we are working in priority is not Grizzle Peak 2, but will be this new Encounter tech, because it can serve them, but also everyone else in the community. So, Sparoh, you told me earlier that you had an idea. What is this idea?
Well, just the mentioning of end game content had me wondering, well, what do they do at end game? That seems to be, you know, they're kind of finding their own thing to do, and that's fighting those big, I don't know if they're 4-chev mobs in the end zones. That's what they seem to like to do, is get together and fight those things. So I was wondering if it had something to do with putting that in all different levels and being able to raid, as it were, with a new counter tech, maybe, these big mobs in all the different zones. So that was my guess.
We will see about that. We will see if you were right. It is recorded. It is saved. Short term. As of 4 short-term priorities, we have got some very exciting items on the list that we have been dying to get out of the door. Many of those things have been worked on in conjunction with our immediate priorities. Adding fishing to this list made a lot of sense since we are prioritizing fun and meaningful things that players can do solo at any level while they wait for their friend or in smaller chunk of time. I mean, who doesn't love fishing in MMORPG, am I right? Epic
Right.
quests are in fact done as their unique weapon art, but we're waiting for certain zone to come into the game that those quests will send you to. Kind of the same story for the others encounter. We're waiting for a few technical details for them. New monster and new skull tier bosses will of course be forthcoming too. So that's a little bit what you were talking about just earlier, Sparoh, which are the boss that the players are playing in Grizzle Peak. It's those skull boss which are higher than 4 chevron and require to have several group gathering together.
Right.
So right now we do not have a system where you are in a reds, like your party is still a party, but that might be something we are working on at some point too.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so it will make it easier for loot-wise and all that kind of thing. So for now, FIFA need to organize themselves.
Yep.
But they're doing that well. There had been no loot drama so far, I think. Not that I'm aware
Wow.
of.
That's impressive, but I know a lot of those guys and they're pretty, I don't want to say mature, but
Yeah, that's
they
a
do
great
pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a
I see
stretch.
what you mean. Yeah, exactly. And they are forced to collaborate, and I think that's the beauty of Embers Adrift. This is something I've been discussing in a previous episode, is that there had been some, let's say, competition in between certain players or certain guilds, etc. But for those mobs, everyone were forced to team up together because you only had a limited amount of players in the community that were of that level and capable of doing those boss. So you really had very fast to put your different aside. And I think that's beautiful when you had ancient rival or whatever you can call it, and now they are collaborating together. So I think that's really nice.
Yeah. And with the increase in 3 Chev XP, we're going to be able to get more people up to those levels to experience that more end game type content.
Yeah, that's true too. Long-term priorities are things that we have been working on as time allows. We're very excited about them. As soon as we get a chance to work on those things, we will be. Our goal is to get everything on the list done this year. We may even be able to bump some things from long-term to short-term. Keep an eye on our patch note as we grow through the year. We may get them done sooner than expected. There are many other things on our wish list that we did not put on the roadmap, so if something you are hoping for isn't on there, it doesn't mean it's not on our mind or plan. For example, reputation or faction.
Yeah, I think lots of people are in, at least I'm really interested in the mail system and the weather. I can't wait to be able to see the different seasons, especially in Meadowlands. I think it's going to look beautiful once we get winter and oh yeah. So those two things I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, me too, because I think you have snow in the game. That will be so cool. You will have 1 week of snow per month.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So here the solo snack, that was a little a little menu created by Adrift. So I know that Alice have been asking who has created that. Well, it's Adrift. You will not guess it, but Adrift is a man of many talents.
And he likes hot dogs.
Yeah. What's new? As mentioned above, we added our bulletin board system. We will be expanding this to multiple spheres of gameplay, giving a player more way to accomplish their goals. Those bulletin boards reward experience to player in the appropriate sphere through the whole game, giving them a productive way to spend their solo time to progress their character. Alongside this, we have added more solo loop to more of our Ember vein. With the boost to experience gained from solo and duo mob, this should all come together to make the solo experience for player while they form groups, wait for friends, or spend small chunk of time in game much more enjoyable and meaningful. We have truly tried to be attentive to player feedback on this and hope everyone enjoyed the adjustment and addition. In other areas of the game, we have made some beneficial changes as well. Martial specialization has seen some significantly beneficial adjustment to their alchemy abilities. Go check them out in our patch notes linked below. 3 chevron map for group content now reward even more experience. We have also made some headway on our tech upgrade, which included more work on memory. You can find the patch notes, check the trailers for this patch, and give it a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As we iterate from patch to patch, adjusting current content or adding new content, we are asking our community to keep the feedback coming and to please be patient with us as we make adjustments. Thank you all. We're working very hard to keep crafting Embers Adrift into the best classically inspired MMORPG in the genre. Support our indie team dev as we grow the game together with our community of players from over 70 countries globally. I really like this little piece of data. We have 70 countries that are represented in the community. Pretty cool.
Fantastic, yeah.
And there we are. So that was all of the roadmap.
There was in the comments down below, someone had asked what equipment categorization was, and Drinton gave a cool comment saying giving clearer categories to equipment with color and rank coding, so it's more apparent how rare things are. And also solo, duo, group, or like the tier, is it common, uncommon, and rare? I thought that was fantastic because I wasn't really sure from the long term what that exactly meant by the categorization, but that's really neat.
Yeah, this is something that has been requested a lot, right? And even in the case of, I'm selling my Stark Sword case that we happened last week, this will also be solved if your sword is surrounded in purple or in blue or something like that. You will know that it's not a trash sword, right? It will be more easily identified. You can identify it faster that way. But it's a very long undertaking because, just the tech of adding the color is fine, but you have to classify everything. And especially as we started the game a certain way, and then it's not like we changed completely over course, but we always adapted the way we are creating the game depending on feedback and such. So not everything is uneven because we have not created everything in one shot before the game release. There had been adjustments, so we will need to consider, where we are categorizing those items. And we have been discussing that a lot during our weekly meeting that happened on the Wednesday night. There had been discussion with the player, so if you want to share your feedback, this is also a really great way to do that. You can join those meetings and have a discussion. Me and Adrift are always present. Sometimes you also have Undone, sometimes you also have Drindin. So you will have the occasion of directly speak with the dev. Of course, for European players, it's horrible because it's right in the middle of the night. I'm well placed to know about it. And for Oceanic player, I think that's extremely early in the morning. So it's not ideal for everyone. We're aware of that. If there's enough demand, I can reinstall the second meeting that I hosted the Thursday. But it was not very popular at the end of the last year, which is why I stopped to organize it. But if there is enough demand, I will be happy to organize it again. So what is your more favorite item on the roadmap? What are you the most excited about?
Immediately, I'm really liking the bulletin boards and more. I'm not a solo player. I usually play with a static group. But I do love the idea of being able to maybe just pop on for an hour, maybe 2, and do some of these solo things. I really think that's going to add to the game more and more likely to bring me into the game for just short sessions. Probably the long-term items, mail. That's going to open up the economy and people trading and selling. The Sunday trade fairs, I'm sure, are a lot of fun and they're more social, but this would be a great way to get the economy going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think so. It's something we have been discussing a lot. Before to do anything related to trade, like taking a decision, shall we put an auctioneers or not? Or shall we put some trader, some broker, or some personal shop that you can create, or bulletin board, but for your merchandise and whatnot? The mail system need to be created first. And so once that is in, then we will see how it impact the community, how it impact the economy, and what's left to be done afterwards. And I do believe that it's going to help out a lot, like you were saying, because you do not need to meet in person. You can send to someone else. It will be hopefully make trading easier. That being said, there's still the trade fair, and the trade fair will still be organized, because not only this is a trade event, but it's also the occasion to sell your services as a crafter, to socialize, or to participate to my fun, silly little game. Maybe it will be hide and seek, maybe it will be a little duel tournament or whatnot. You never know what's going to happen during the trade fair. So join the trade fair every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central American time. That was my little commercial.
That was
for
your
the
spiel.
trade fair.
Also, epic weapons and fishing. I forgot those.
Yes.
Those are going to be amazing. I love fishing. In every MMO, I have to fish, and so does Bounty Code.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
fishing buddies.
And so I think that fishing will be an ideal activity, because we can tie it with many different things, with provisioner, with other type of things. We have quite some original ideas as well. And it's also this nice, relaxing little activity you can do either by yourself while chatting on Discord, or doing whatever, maybe watching a podcast on the other screen. Or you can organize social event with your guild, you can organize contests, stuff like that. So I think it will be a very nice addition to put to the game for many, many different reasons.
Yeah. And the zones that we're waiting for the epic weapons, are they the Grimstone, like the more later long-term project, or is it more in the short term, those zones?
Well, I know that Forgotten Depth 3 for sure. There's something in Forgotten Depth. I'm not sure if it's only because the epic quest will be done in several steps. It starts at level 30 or 35. I do not have the precise level, and it will go all through the level 50. So it is really an epic quest in several steps. So one of those steps is done in Forgotten Depth 3. So that's all I know about it.
Okay. They do have it under short-term priority, the epic quest, so maybe it's not the long-term dungeons or
No,
zones.
I don't think so. But like, I'm not 100% sure of how happened the epic quest. Like, that's me that do not have the information, the precise information. But I know for sure that it's happening in Forgotten Depth 3. It's going to be quite exciting. There's the cool stuff you will see. It's nice. I can't wait. We all can't wait to see you and discover them. And me personally, I always like when there is a new zone that happen. And one that I'm very excited about is a Dry Food Fortress, because by playing the game a lot, I really play the game a lot. Not hardcore, but I play it a lot and very regularly. What I prefer are the open world dungeon. I prefer the open world dungeon versus the underground dungeon. Just because of the change of light and how, it's not in tunnel, but it's more open. And I really like Dry Food Stronghold, for example. So I know that the Dry Food Fortress might be a little bit in that style, and so I'm quite excited about that one in particular.
And is that the big fortress in the middle of Dry Foot that you kind of go around? Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool because that fortress has been teasing everyone since
Yeah.
since the alpha, and so it's going to be cool to have it finally.
You can peek into little spots, like you can look through the grates and gates and things and see through a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's been a tease for a long time.
Xerwolf is saying, I'm excited about the GM event, fishing and crafting improvement, continuation of other storyline, Grimstone Tree in that order. Nice. Wish fishing was a quicker hit. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the reason you described Xerwolf. Those systems are more complicated to be created. And we want to do it correctly and not to rush it and make it, stupid. So we need to be able to take our time to really polish something and doing nicely. All right, so let's go to the community news. I do have several really cool stuff to share with everyone. So let's do that. I want to share a few videos that has been created by content creator reacting to the roadmap. I mean, it's appropriate. We're talking about the roadmap. It's the main subject of this show. Therefore, let's see what other content creators are saying about the roadmap. The first extract of video had been created by Therek from Static Group Live, and he has done a whole video about his opinion related to the roadmap. So let's see this little extract of this video.
I've been playing Embers Adrift here on the channel since it launched over a year ago, and enjoying the heck out of it, and grouping up, killing some mobs in classic MMO style. So let's take a look at exactly what they have planned for 2024. But quickly before we get to that, co-op gaming is what Static Group Live is all about. So if you like games like Embers Adrift, why not subscribe to the channel while you're here? Thanks in advance, and on with the video. So the Embers Adrift 2024 roadmap has 3 categories in terms of their priority: immediate, short-term, and long-term. Basically what order to expect these items to show up in the game rather than any kind of a specific timeline. Let's start with the immediate priority items, so the things that we're going to see first. Now the big one here is the free trial. And I think to really give this context, it is important to first understand the business model that Embers Adrift utilizes. They've been adamantly against any kind of a cash shop since day one, opting for the optional subscription model.
So that was a nice video created by Tarek, which is from Static Group Live. They are creating a lot of content about Embers Adrift. Livestream, Sparoh is part of it. Do you want to talk a little bit about your endeavors with Static Group Live?
Sure. We like to play games together. Our little slogan is gamers don't let friends pug. So
nice.
We like to have static groups get together and have friends to play with all different kinds of games, mostly MMOs, but really any game that we can play as co-op or, as a social game. And we usually discuss things like MMO 101, 201. We like to grade the games. What did we like about it? What do we think could use improvement? And then there's a lot of just really fun streams like the late night crew on Mondays, and they play with Nathan as well. He's on there. So just a lot of fun, a lot of different friends playing together and streaming it.
Yeah, and what's very nice as well is to see that you have like more news or guide video related to the game you're playing, which make it also very interesting, because sometimes people want to have some information or a constructed advice about a subject related to the game they are playing, and so you find those kind of video as well on the channel, right?
Yeah, and informational. They also have a website. It's staticgroup.live. You can go there, see it's blog style. They have their calendar and talking about all different kinds of games that the community's been playing.
Oh, that's really great, because I was not aware of that. So thank you for the information. That's nice.
Thanks.
Second, we do have a video created by Alice Blue. So Alice Blue, she has been playing Embers Adrift since forever. She had been playing Embers Adrift since before it was Embers Adrift, back in 2017 or something. So she had gone through all the periods and all the development of the game. She knows really well what she's talking about when she speaks about the game. And here she has been reading on her stream the roadmap and commenting on everything. It's a very nice video, so it's a highlight from her stream. Very chill and relaxing, pretty long as well, but it's quite interesting. I've been watching it all from the start to the end, and yeah, give it a look. So here is a little extract from that video.
I'm sure we'll get, new ember veins and things like that here and there, whatever. Stuff that isn't on the list. But this is just the list of the main points of what they're going to be going for this year. So, and of course, as it says here at the bottom, subject to change. It's always subject to change, right? Because we don't know what the future holds. Subject to change. Along with the above, we will continue to implement regular content adjustments and bugs fixes as we have done before. And if you've been paying attention to this game for the past year, like actually paying attention to it, you've seen the evidence that they can stay consistent, adding content and patches, and that they show no signs of slowing down or giving up.
Okay. Alice makes a good point too, that just looking over the past year of what your studio has done has been amazing. Nobody can doubt your ability to just pump out really good content, great ideas, sticking with your vision. It's been a great year.
Yeah, we're really trying, and which is also why we want to have this free trial, because we realize that we don't have specifically a good reach and we don't have specifically a good reputation, and there's still very little media outlet that are speaking of us. So I want to take the chance to thank every content creator from our community or otherwise, and every media outlet that are speaking about our games. Thank you so very much for doing so. I really do appreciate that, because really we would like the words to get out and people to just know about us and to see for themselves if they enjoy what we have created, or if they don't, but at least may they know that we exist. That's the first step. And then they can make a decision in knowledge of what the game truly is. And so I really hope that this trial will bring more player, the player that were doubtful about the game or think like, this doesn't look really like my thing, or I'm curious, I'm very doubtful that indie dev team can pull off a MMORPG, or I don't think I will have fun. May those people try it and see for themselves if they enjoy it.
And word of mouth, guys. Tell your friends. I mean, MMOs just as a genre are difficult to stream, to show how strategic they are or how immersive they are. That doesn't always come across well with the genre in general. So just word of mouth and getting your friends to try it, I think, is a big step forward.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. It's not always simple to share and to show, and I say that as a content creator myself. I'm streaming the game all the time, and there has been a lot of moments where, let's say, I'm streaming lazily or I'm just playing and chatting with the chat, and then sometimes I'm trying to really comment everything I'm doing. Oh, I'm hiding him behind the wall so I can attract this archer, and so the other player can melee it or something like that. Because if you do not know what you're doing, then the game can seem boring. But once you play the game and you know about it, you see another person doing a dungeon run, suddenly the stream is very exciting because you see what they are doing. You see the strategies they employ and such, and it makes it exciting.
And you know how dangerous that spot is. And,
Yeah.
you know, you wiped there 3 times last week.
Exactly.
And you see how they're going to do it, and they make it, or they wipe too. You know, it's fun.
Yeah, well, if you have never heard about Embers Adrift, you might think, oh, okay, that doesn't sound very active. Like, they are very slow at fighting this mob. Oh my god, this is not dying.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of strategy that goes into fighting things and managing your resources, like stamina. Oh, it's tough. It's a tough game.
Yeah, and especially with the addition of alchemy, this adds this extra layer of really, when am I using my alchemy abilities? Is it the right time to use my precious Ember Essence, or should I wait longer? And stuff like that.
Yeah, I do prefer now to fight where there's going to be ashen mobs, so it's filling up my Ember Stone as I'm going, so I can use it more often.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, we have our last video to share, which has been created by Zig. Zig is a very active member of the community, is really present in the community, and he has never been creating video until this one. And that video is specifically made to show what we're talking about, that the game is exciting, that the game is fun. So it's a dungeon run with comments written, not spoken, where he's explaining all the tactics of everything they are doing during a Forgotten Depth 2 run. So here is a little extract from that video. And voila, I think this video is very well made. It was a great initiative from Zig. So, before to conclude this community show, we do have the weekly game. So in case you do not know what the weekly game is all about, the weekly game is a game now I'm organizing on Discord, so you need to participate it on Discord. I'm giving you a little instruction. You share your screenshot over there following the instruction of the week, and the winner is picked up randomly and win 1 gold. 1 gold at low level is really great. At higher level, it's more symbolic than anything. But it's nice too, because you have won, you know? It's always nice.
Hey, I'm mid-level and a gold is a gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see the weekly game. So last week, weekly game. Take a screenshot including yourself in front next to a bulletin board. Do an emote, don't stand like a statue. 1 screenshot per player. So let's see what we got. We got Flub over here. This is Mazov in the Highland Hills. Here we have Watts at Northridge Crossroads. This is Perplexed Purple Pixel. I think this is in New Haven Valley. Seems like New Haven Valley, yeah. This is Raven Hearts at Northridge Crossroad.
Oh, that's a great shot pointing at the bulletin board.
Yeah, it is. That is Radha in New Haven Valley, and Windmill also pointing. That's Hog in Raven Rock. And by Lenore, I think it's in Northreach. So we do have 8 entries. Thank you to everyone that has participated to it. It's a beautiful screenshot showcasing all of the bulletin board. And if you're paying attention, you will see that they're not all the same. There is some differences. So we have 8. Let's do that. Let's see who's winning this week. Good luck. Congratulations, number 5. Who's the number 5?
Hey, that's my favorite.
Oh yeah, Ravenheart. Congratulations, Ravenheart. You have won 1 gold. Be sure to poke me in game to receive your 1 gold. Nice. That's cool. What's your favorite, Sparoh? That's very nice.
Nice coincidence.
Yep, indeed it is. But is there any coincidence? So that was really, really cool. Thank you again for participating to this community show, Sparoh. I really appreciate the discussion we had together. That's really, really nice. Is there anything you would like to say to the community before to conclude this community show?
Well, thanks so much for having me. It's always fun when we get to hang out and chat about the game and play together. You have one of the best communities. They are really loyal to the game and a lot of fun to hang out with. If you're new to the game, just hop in, start talking in the world chat. There's a lot of really friendly people here that are excited when new people are coming in and will help you out, answer your questions. Give it a try, especially with a free trial coming up at the end of the month, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, great time to hop in, check it out. You get to try all the different things in the first main zone. So great time. Come be a drifter.
Exactly, and it will be the perfect time to announce that we will also organize to celebrate this free trial release. We're going to organize a big event during the weekend following that release. So the change will happen a Tuesday with the patch. If everything happened well, because you never know, things could not turn as they were planned to be. But if everything happened as planned, it will be released during the patch, which will be, I will give you the date exactly. February is also a shorter month. So that will be the 27th of February, and then the weekend of the 1st, 2, and 3 March, we will have a big event to celebrate that. So expect to have news about it on social media and Discord very soon, and then we will talk about it more deeply next week in the community show. Thank you once again, Sparoh. Guys, do not hesitate to follow Sparoh in our adventure. Can you remind the date where you are being present and where people can see you playing the game?
Most often is on Static Group Live. You can join their Discord. They post whenever we're going live, or they're on Twitter. We're streaming 6 days a week. I'm on at least a couple a week. And yeah, I don't know if you have their Discord or not, but yeah, it's the best place to keep up to date.
Nice. Thank you so much. I will put all the information in the information box below, obviously. Thank you so very much, Sparoh, once again. And to everyone, thank you very much for watching this episode. If it's the first time you're stumbling upon our channel on YouTube, do not forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this information, give it a like and leave us a comment below explaining you what is your favorite items of the roadmap that you're the most excited about. Thank you so very much for watching. Check us out live. It's every Tuesday during the maintenance on my personal Twitch channel. You will be very welcome to, hang out with the team, with the community. So see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.